If you're around a girl who eats like this, be careful. Yesterday, he was caught by a psychopathic murderer. He stabbed him in the shoulder with an ancient evil knife. Then their souls were exchanged. The murderer woke up. He realized he was a cute schoolgirl. He decided to go to school and kill them all. The first thing he did was to choose his clothes. I didn't realize that all the girls' clothes were girly, but murderer couldn't be too sweet. She went to her sister's room to look for them. So that day, all the students were surprised by the transformation of the little girl, because she was usually a good girl. On the other hand, a murderer with the soul of a young girl in his heart, Mylene woke up with a start. He found himself in a horrible room. When he saw the mirror, he screamed on the spot. Mylene ran into the street. He bumped into an older woman who recognized him as a wanted man. She screamed on the spot. Then a passerby saw a murderer. She ran away like a teenager. Mylene sneaked into the school to take a shower. But that's when her true form. That's when the demon came to school. As soon as he arrived, he was stopped by a bad classmate who had previously mocked her poverty in front of many people. Now he dragged the girl to a locker room. He asked her about the details of her capture by the murderer. But how could she realize that Mylene wasn't the one in front of her? The murderer started to look around the locker room for weapons, grabbed a coat hanger, touched a fire extinguisher. Then he ruffled a classmate's hair. She got scared. He ran into the bathroom. He went to the women's shower room. He saw the wanted murderer. He was so scared that he ran away. He bumped into the murderer. He said, "I'll take you to hide." He threw his classmate into a room. Before she could react, he closed the door. Then she got stuck, so he put her in a freezer. Watching the temperature drop like crazy, the students inside must be finished. Mylene took a shower. She skillfully wrapped a towel around her head. When she went out, she saw the freezer. She found her classmates frozen into ice pops. The murderer must have used her body to kill people everywhere. He had to change her body back quickly. Mylene searched everywhere. Suddenly, she found two of her best friends. She recognized him as the wanted killer. They ran away. Mylene had to chase him all the way. He grabbed his best friend. For the first time in her life, Mylene felt the pain. She finally caught up with the two gangsters in the kitchen. They wielded an iron spoon. Mylene had to pick up a pot lid and waved it around. Finally, Mylene did a cheerleading dance. And finally the two men recognized him. The three of them matched a couple of secret.
Right?
The two diehards went out to investigate and figured out the reason for the soul swap. It's that old evil dagger. And if you don't get your soul back within 24 hours, then it'll stay that way forever. On the other side, Mylene was hiding and ran into Danny, who used to bully him. He came out and lifted Danny up. "Don't you ever bully Mylene again." Danny pissed his pants on the spot. Mylene let go in disgust. The three of them met up. They found his location. They stopped the killer before he could attack his next target. They put him in the house of one of their best friends. They also took the boy who was attacked. He happened to be Mylene's crush. When the boy woke up, of course he didn't believe Mylene. He was about to run away. Mylene suddenly recited a love poem she once wrote for him. "I long to be like the light in the light, deeply in love, swept away by the storm of your love, like a candle flickering in the wind." Mylene recited the poem, and the boy realized the murderer across the street was Mylene's favorite. Only they knew the love poem. Then they tied up the murderer. They went to the police station to steal the magic dagger, and the murderer was guarded by Mylene's boyfriend. But then his mom came home. She thinks her son's a pervert. She had to untie the girl, and the murderer got himself free. He grabbed the knife. The two of them ducked into another room. The knife came through the door. Fortunately, the murderer is a little girl now. She couldn't hit the door at all. He rushed to the police station as a little girl. He fooled the police. He grabbed the magic dagger, and the police caught Mylene. Mylene caught the cop unaware and put him in a cell. The murderer had already arrived at the school party. A bad student lured him into a small space. The three of them wanted to do violence to the girl. They didn't realize it was the last time they'd laugh. Killer took out all three of the bad students. That's when Mylene and the others met in the alley. Killer was already covered in blood. The two of them started fighting with knives. Mylene was stabbed, but he was very strong, and the murderer ran away. The other two gangsters rushed out and pinned him down. Mylene grabbed his magic dagger and plunged it into his shoulder. When Mylene woke up, she had changed back into herself. Her friends asked her about a secret that only she knew, and she answered. The police came and took the murderer away. Late that night, Mylene found the door of his house suddenly open. As he walked into the living room, the murderer appeared behind him. His sister and mother tried to kill him, but the two women were quickly defeated by the murderer. Finally, the killer grabbed Mylene's hand. "I know how weak you are," he said, but Mylene said, "I also know that in your strength there is a weakness." So Mylene kicked him in the crotch, and now that he's weak, Mylene finished him off. After this experience, let's see who dares to bully her from now on.